Welcome students to my online history video lessons. Now the topic that we are doing is the formation of the Punjabi Suba. This is the part 2 of that video. Part 1 we have already discussed. In part 1 we discussed what were the genesis, what were the reasons, how and why the formation of Punjabi Suba came into being. Now, if you remember, what were the four reasons I said? One, the British self-interest, Congress assurances, demographic changes after 1947, and the language controversy. So now it was clear that the Punjabi demand for Punjabi Suba is there. Now there are various stages. It was not that when they demanded they got their Punjab as it is today. It actually went through lot of stages. My slide talks about that. First, the formation of PEPSU, denial of the weightage to Sikh by the Constituent Assembly, then the Sachar family, States Reorganisation Commission, Punjabi versus Hindi, demand for Hindi-speaking state for Haryana, Regional Formula 1956, establishment of regional committees, controversy about the status of the regional committees, formation of parliamentary committee to consider the demand for Punjabi Suba, report of the parliamentary committee on the Punjabi Suba, and finally the Reorganisation Act of 1966 and formation of Punjabi Suba. So let's just start with our first slide. Now, now we have to understand that now we are talking about the demand for a Punjabi Suba, but what was the other committees talking about how the states must be reorganized? Now we know that in 1928, 1931, 37, the Congress sessions they agreed on organizing states on the basis of language, but after 1947 what was the view of other committees? So first we'll talk about your Dhar committee. Now Dhar committee was appointed to study the language issue. Sorry. It gave its verdict that language should not be taken as the criteria of reorganization. I would say that again. Dhar committee said that language should not be taken as the criteria of reorganization, rather financial efficiency, administrative convenience and capacity for future development should be considered while organizing these states. The other committee which was formed was your JVP, Jawaharlal Nehru, Vallabhbhai Patel and Pitabhi Sitaramaiah. Now, what did they say? They also said that states should not be organized on the basis of the language. Now, one thing you might be thinking that Nehru, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, at time was an advocate of linguistic states, but after 1947, he began to feel that unity of India must be given top priority. So what they did was, now this is the emblem of your PEPSU. Now what is PEPSU? PEPSU stands for Patiala and East Punjab States Union, right? So it's P for Patiala, Patiala and East Punjab States Union. So what was this? It actually comprised the native states of Patiala, Nabha, Jind, Maredkotla, Faridkot, Kapurthala, Nalagarh, Kalsaiya with Patiala as its capital. So this was a small Punjabi state that was carved for them. On 15th July 1948, Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel inaugurated PEPSU and referred to it as a Sikh homeland. The former ruler of Patiala, Maharaja Yadvinder Singh, was appointed as the governor or Raj Pramukh for life. The former Maharaja of Kapurthala was appointed as the deputy governor or Up Raj Pramukh. Maharaja Yadvinder Singh was made the governor and later the caretaker government was installed in August 1948 under Gyan Singh Rarewal. Now, this is what the PEPSU, now, although the map is something different, I will be talking about it. But in this map of Punjab, in this map of whole map of Punjab, this area is what you will call as the PEPSU. What was that? Patiala, East Punjab States Union. And let's go back. to what areas it consisted of: Patiala, Nabha, Jind, Malerkotla, Faridkot, Kapurthala, Nalagarh, and your Kalsaya. So this area of Pepsu, which was thought to be a Sikh homeland, it had about a population of 35 lakh, an area of 10,000 square miles. Now in this area, 49.5% were Sikh, 2% were Muslims, and rest of them were Hindus. So this was the area of your Pepsu. Now, actually, in the formation, you will learn that how I will just give you a little hint, because the map was very attractive and I wanted to add in my slide even before I would talk about it. This is the Pepsu that was given to us, and later in 1956, the Pepsu was merged with Punjab. So this is how the stages of even Pepsu has been done. But here, my whole idea was just to make you understand that what exactly, how much is the area of Pepsu, and you just remember that in 1956 it actually got merged it back in Punjab. Now, denial of weightage to Sikh by the Constituent Assembly. Why were the Sikh demanding a Punjabi Suba? Now, before the actual partition of Punjab, Baldev Singh and Gyani Kartar Singh had met Lord Mountbatten to suggest. Now, what did they say? Who said that? Baldev Singh and Gyani Kartar Singh. Now, what did they say? They say either the Constituent Assembly, that is the assembly which is framing the constitution, should give weightage to Sikh in the new constitution, or the Hindi speaking areas must be separated from Punjabi speaking areas. So this is what they had demanded, that either more weightage to Sikh must be given by the constitution, or the Hindi areas must be taken away from Punjabi speaking area. Lord Mountbatten's reaction against the second proposal. Second proposal means that the Hindi speaking areas, I will just show you with the cursor. This was the second provision, that the Hindi speaking areas should be separated. Now Mountbatten's reaction against the second proposal was negative. However, he opined that reservation with the joint electorates could be given with freedom to contest general seats. In October 1948, Shiromani Akali Dal passed a resolution demanding a separate representation to the Sikh in the Punjab Legislative Assembly. So the formation of Punjabi Suba was now taking in place, with the resolution being passed by Akali Dal, Shiromani Akali Dal in 1948, that Sikh need their separate representation in the Punjab Legislative Assembly. After this, Akali Dal made 13 demands, but these demands were not accepted by the Constituent Assembly of India. It was said that there was no room for weightage to religious minorities, and they favored abolition of all such reservations. So what the Sikh were demanding were not given to them. Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel reminded the Sikh members of the Constituent Assembly that they had agreed that if Sikh would not demand more concessions, then the Sikh backward class will be given the same right as given to the scheduled caste and the scheduled tribes. So what the Vallabhbhai Patel reminded them, that they had agreed that they will not talk about these terms if the backward Sikh were given the same right as the scheduled caste and the scheduled tribes. Now, Gyani Kartar Singh, a prominent Akali leader, opposed it. Now, political situation in the Punjab became further complicated by the attitude of the Hindu leaders. So this is what happened. Just a quick, thing. We talked about the first step in the formation of Punjabi Suba is Pepsu, because Pepsu was referred to as a Sikh homeland, and that was formed on the 15th July 1948. Vallabhbhai Patel, he actually thought that maybe if this is given to them, their demand for a Sikh homeland, a Punjabi Suba, will be fulfilled. Right? This is the area of your Pepsu we talked about. Then we also talked that what the Sikh wanted from the Constituent Assembly, and then now is your Sachar Formula. Now, after the partition of Punjab, Punjab was no longer a Muslim state. Now, in 1947, the political triangle was different. There was a communal strive to the whole thing. Now it was based with communal differences between the Hindus and the Sikh. Now, where did this actually start from? In June 1949, the Senate of Punjab University, dominated by Arya Samaj, refused to allow Punjabi in Gurmukhi script or even in Devanagari script as a medium of instruction in school. That means they did not allow Punjabi to be the medium of instruction in school. Now, obviously, this led to great resentment among the Sikh. Consequently, the Punjab government decided to find solution to this problem. And we know now the communal differences were between the Hindus and the Sikh. So Sachar, also Bhim Sen Sachar, the chief minister of Punjab at that time, he offered a formula regarding the medium of instructions in schools in place of Urdu. According to Sachar Formula, the study of both Punjabi and Hindi was made compulsory up to 10th, but the choice of medium of instruction was left to the parents, that they could decide for any medium of instruction. Now, majority of the Sikh were happy with the formula, but Akalis criticized that why should the parents be given the right to choose the medium of instruction for the education of their child. Even Arya Samaj and Hindu Mahasabha severely opposed the formula. Then, by this time, what was happening nationally was the States Reorganization Commission came into being. Why? Now, the issue of state language and the choice of medium of instruction in the school got mixed up with the problem of reorganization of state. Now, what happened nationally that this again a reorganization act commission was formed when P. Sira Ramalu died fasting for the creation of Andhra Pradesh in the end of 1952. Now, on 29 December 1953, now because he wanted to create a separate state, Andhra Pradesh, so in 1953, the Government of India announced the formation of the States Reorganization Commission. There was in 1953 with Justice Fazil Ali as the chairman, H.N. Kunzru and K.M. Panikkar as the members. Now, the people of Punjabi were quite elated. They felt that maybe the States Reorganization Commission is their new answer to the formation of Punjabi Suba, but they also had their fears that will the commission accept their demand or not. Now, Punjabi versus Hindi. Hindi agitation also started beside the Akali press, starting a counter propaganda, and this led to tension between the two communities and even clashes at many places. So, what kind of clashes or what kind of scenario you were seeing during 1946-47 in Punjab between the Hindu Sikh on one side and the Muslims on the other. Now the same was being repeated, but the communities were between Hindu and your Sikh. Now commission was ready to take up the case of Punjabi speaking state. Now, obviously, they had to present their case. So, Akali prepared their case on the basis of 1947 census, arguing that an area of 35,000 square miles with a population of 12 million was Punjabi speaking, though the population of Sikh was only less than half. Now the hopes of the Akalis were dashed to ground when the States Reorganization Commission rejected their demand of creating a Punjabi Suba. Now, why did they reject their demand? One, the States Reorganization rejected their demand for Punjabi Suba in its report submitted on 30th September 1955. So just imagine it's only 1955. 10 years later, in 1966, finally the Suba, Punjabi Suba will be formed. Now, why did they reject? It was of the view that formation of Punjabi Suba would not solve the language problem or the script problem. Moreover, imposition of Gurmukhi script would create more problems as the proposed Hindi-speaking state would remain a bilingual. Bilingual means you have your Punjabi-speaking people also and Hindi-speaking, because at that time, some people used Hindi as their medium of writing their papers in Punjab University. So that is what the commission said, that you cannot have Gurmukhi script as the basis for creating a Punjabi Suba, that even if we create Punjabi Suba as they claim, it will still be bilingual, because there are certain people living in Punjab who still use Hindi as their medium of instruction. But it only recommended the merger of Pepsu with the East Punjab. So now, if I just go back to the map that we had done just in the beginning, and I was saying that I will talk about it. Now, this is what the States Reorganization Commission did. That they merged. They did not accept the demand for Punjab that the separate state should be organized. But what they did was they merged Pepsu into East Punjab in 1956, and that commission came into being in 1955. So this is clear. Let's move on to our next slide. Right. So this is clear that Pepsu got the States Reorganization Commission did that. Now, see, when the agitation for Punjabi speaking area was there, so people started demanding for a Hindi speaking area also. Now, agitation for the Punjabi speaking province encouraged the movement for a Hindi speaking state of Haryana. The people of Haryana felt that they discriminated against more advanced Punjabis in all matters. Likewise, Himachal Pradesh demanded that they were being exploited by the Punjabi speaking state. They too wanted to safeguard their interests. Then, the regional formula. Akalis launched many agitations for the Punjabi Suba, but the centre, as well as Pratap Singh Caro, the then Chief Minister of Punjab, was totally opposed to it. But they said a compromise was achieved in 1956. Now, a lot of things were happening in 1956. One, the States Reorganization Commission had given its report. It had rejected the demand for Punjabi Suba, but it merged PEPSU, Punjab East Punjab State Union, with the Punjab. Right? This is one thing they did. And a regional formula was given to them. What was that formula? Punjab was to be bilingual, that is, both the languages will be used, but will be divided into two regions, the Punjabi speaking area and the Hindi. Punjabi will be the official language of the Punjabi region, and Hindi will be the official language of the Hindi region. That means in Punjab, they were creating two independent units, one Punjabi region, one Hindi region. Punjabi region will have their language as Punjabi. The Hindi region will have its language as Hindi. But both the languages were to be promoted by the government. Now, this was what was happening on the language issue. Now, on the political side, what they said was that the Punjab legislature will be there, but in that Punjab legislature, regional committees will be formed for each zone. Like Punjabi region will have its own regional committee. The Hindi region will have its own regional committee, and they were given to legislate 14 important subjects. Now, so this is your, if I have my cursor, this is your establishment of regional committees. Now, Union government created two regional committees, but you have to understand the Legislative Assembly was only one. In one, that is your Punjab Legislative Assembly, within that one assembly, two sub-committees were created. One, a regional committee for the Punjabi speaking area, regional committee for the Hindi speaking area. Now, the most important thing that you have to understand is that these are not two separate legislative assemblies. The assembly is same, that is Punjab Legislative Assembly. But in this assembly, there are two regional committees. And they were not to work as independent, that Punjabi speaking जो regional committee है वो अलग है, regional committee of Hindi ऐसा नहीं था. इन दोनों को पंजाब लेजिस्लेटिव असेंबली को एडवाइस करना था ताकि कुछ भी ऐसा डिसीजन ना लिया जाए जो किसी भी रीजन को की फीलिंग्स को हर्ट करे. Now, अब regional committees were made, but a controversy arose about the status. What do you think could be the controversy? If I say in one word that the regional committees started functioning like main legislatures. So they started functioning as sub-legislatures with all the powers of a regular legislature in their own sphere of competence. It was contended that they could function like a legislature with their own question hour and press coverage of their proceeding. That is what they started doing. See, they were just created as the regional committee of Punjabi speaking area and Hindi. They were only to advise the Punjab Legislative Assembly. But what they started doing, they started functioning like their respective legislatures. They would have their own question hour and the press coverage of their proceedings. So the matter was referred by the Speaker of the Punjab Legislative Assembly to the Union government, which gave the ruling that the regional committees were the special committees of the Legislative Assembly, but they are not sub-legislatures. That means पंजाब लेजिस्लेटर जो असेंबली है वो एक है, उसमें दो कमिटीज बना दी है, रीजनल कमिटी ऑफ पंजाब एंड रीजनल कमिटी ऑफ जो है आपका जो हिंदी स्पीकिंग एरिया. लेकिन ये अपने आप में लेजिस्लेचर्स नहीं है, ये सिर्फ मेन लेजिस्लेचर का पार्ट है जो उसको सिर्फ एडवाइज कर सकता है. सो दे वर टू फंक्शन इन द एडवाइजरी कैपेसिटी एंड डिड नॉट possess the power of the legislature. Now, so 1960, the Punjabi Suba Morcha gained momentum, and now it actually, gained that much of a momentum that you'll say within 6 years, the Punjabi Suba actually is formed by the States Reorganisation Act. Now, Punjab government did not implement the regional formula agreement in its true spirit. So the regional committees were reduced to status of subcommittee of the Punjab legislature, their powers were curtailed, and they hardly functioned. Now, when the regional committee framework failed, this gave Master Tara Singh the chance to say that regional formula has failed. Now, the only solution is Punjabi Suba. And the only way to achieve this Suba is to start with another Morcha. So he started the Punjabi Suba Morcha in June 1960, and this was the most powerful agitation ever launched by Akalis with great prestige and huge propaganda machinery. Now, the Punjabi Suba Morcha of 1960, Master Tara Singh was arrested by the Cairo government, and before that he had appointed Sant Fateh Singh, his successor, as the leader of the Morcha. So here we are saying that Master Tara Singh, he says now the Punjabi Suba is the only solution and we have to start the Morcha. But before he starts the Morcha, he's arrested. But before he gets arrested, he appoints Sant Fateh Singh as the leader of the Morcha. Now, Sant Fateh Singh addresses a huge public gathering at Akal Takht. He said the Morcha was for Punjabi-speaking state. It was not against Hindus, but against the government, and the Morcha will be passed on the passive resistance. So he said that the Morcha is not against Hindus, it is only for establishing a Punjabi-speaking state, and Morcha will be based on passive resistance. In this Morcha, about 50,000 people were arrested. Fateh Singh announced his fast on to death to achieve this objective. It began on the 18th December 1960. Prime Minister Nehru intervened and made his formal announcement that Punjab being the dominant language of the Suba. So he said that. Now that means somewhere down the line, Nehruji gave them the inclination that whatever they are demanding could be, considered. But Pratap Singh Cairo, the chief minister of that time, was in no mood to yield. Master Tara Singh again met Nehru on January 7, 1961, and after being assured that government would look into the matter, he urged look into the grievances, urged Sant Fateh Singh. However, the negotiations with the government did not bear fruit. So although Sant Fateh Singh, he actually felt that maybe the government, whatever they are saying, they would agree, but the government, whatever they had thought that the government will do, the government did not pay any heed to their demand for a Punjabi Suba. So Master Tara Singh undertook a fast unto death on the 15th August 1961 in the sanctuary of Golden Temple. The government refused to yield. Even when Tara Singh was in fast, the government was in no mood to yield to their demand for a Punjabi Suba. After 43 days, he gave up. After 43 days, he gave up his self-imposed ordeal. Now, while I was just researching about this, when he broke his fast, actually he lost his political career because people were not happy how he undertook the situation at that time. So in this new political scenario, Sant Fateh Singh emerged as the new leader. Now, this whole thing is happening in 1961, but by the time this, the whole issue takes a lot of nationwide attention, that in 1962, the Chinese aggression shelved the Punjabi Suba for the period of emergency. And after that, even when they wanted to pick up the issue of Punjabi Suba, Nehru's death in 1964, Pratap Singh Karo's death in 1965 greatly disillusioned the movement. However, Sant Fateh Singh met Lal Bahadur Shastri, the new Prime Minister then, but even then he could not get any positive assurance from him. To secure a speedy national decision, Sant Fateh Singh declared on August 16, 1965, his determination to fast from September 10, 1965, to go in for self-immolation after fasting for 15 days. But before the final date was fixed by Sant, the Pakistani, they launched a massive attack on India. And in this, although the demand for Punjabi Suba saw a very bad time in terms of Chinese aggression in 1962, Nehru's death in 1964, Pratap Singh Karo's death in 1965, and now when they were about, Sant Fateh Singh was about to have his fast, or he would go for the self-immolation. At that time, Pakistan made a massive attack. Although the Punjabis were fighting for their Punjabi Suba attack, but their contribution in the army was commendable. With the achievement of ceasefire on the Indo-Pak border on 26 September 1965, the central government finally took the first step. They announced the formation of the parliamentary committee under the chairmanship of Lok Sabha Speaker Sardar Hukam Singh, and a special cabinet subcommittee whose members were Y.B. Chavan, Indira Gandhi and Mahavir Tyagi. Now, why did government form this parliamentary committee? One, they wanted to investigate. Two, they wanted to discuss. And then finally make recommendations for the demand of the Punjabi Suba. That, do you think it is important? What is the political scenario? This is what the committee was to discuss. The majority of the memorandum it received were in the favor of the Suba, because Hukam Singh, Sardar Hukam Singh was a person who could not be messed up with. I mean, he was a person who was very clear that will go with what majority of the people say. And majority of the memorandum that he received were in the favor of Suba. So was the majority opinion, irrespective of the party differences inside the highly powered parliamentary committee. The committee itself looked towards the formation of the Punjabi Suba. Finally, the whole agitation bore fruit. The Punjab Reorganisation Act 1966. Out of the former East Punjab, the new state of Haryana was created. Territory was transferred to Himachal Pradesh, then a union territory, now it's a state. And the city of Chandigarh became the union territory to serve as the capital of both Punjab and Haryana. So this is the map that we started with, and this is the map I would like to end with. That this is how, okay, let me just draw that for you. See, this is where we started. We started with the partition, right? With the partition. Now, this is what we were doing now, that how this was created as the Punjab and your Haryana. So this is, we had done this portion, that how this happened in my video on the partition of Punjabi. Now this is where we have come to the end. The States Reorganization Act created two different states, the Punjab state, the state of Punjab, and the state of Haryana, right? So let's move to the next slide. And thank you so much for watching this video. I need to erase this, but that's all right. So thank you so much for watching this video. I think that it must have sold your, your whatever queries you have about it. So I would ask you again the same thing, that please go through these slides at least 2 to 3 times, then go back to your textbook, read, and when you understand the whole concept, then it will be very easy for you to write in your examination. Thank you so much, Bacho. All the best, happy learning, and it's a special day today, so happy Basaki. Thank you so much, Bacho.